Francis remained in stable condition and didn't need any mechanical ventilation on Sunday, March 2nd, the Vatican said. It was a sign that his respiratory function was improving as he continues his recovery from the double pneumonia and a respiratory crisis. The 88-year-old Pope did continue to receive high-flow supplemental oxygen after Friday, that is February 28, coughing episode, which sparked fear of a new infection. Also, Dr. again said his prognosis remained guarded, meaning he wasn't out of danger. Pope Francis, who earlier on Sunday, that is March 2nd, had a visit from the Vatican number 2 and number 3 officials, also attended Mass, rested and prayed, the Vatican said in the evening bulletin. Pope Francis continued his recovery from the double pneumonia, which again skipped his weekly noon blessing to avoid even a brief public appearance from the hospital. Instead, the Vatican distributed a message from the Pope in which he thanked his doctors for the care and well-wishers for their prayers and prayed again for peace in Ukraine and elsewhere. From here, what appears even more absurd, Pope Francis said in the message which he drafted in recent days from the Gemelli Hospital, the Vatican said. Pope Francis said he was living his hospitalization as an experience of profound solidarity with people who are sick and suffering elsewhere. I feel in my heart the blessing that is hidden within the frailty, because it is precisely in this moment when we learn even more to trust in the Lord, Pope Francis said in the text. At the same time, I thank God for giving me the opportunity to share in body and spirit the condition of so many sick and suffering people. It marked the third weekend in a row that Pope Francis has cancelled the Sunday appointment delivering the Angelus prayer in person. He could have done so from his 10th floor hospital suite at the Gemelli Hospital if he were well enough. Also, but many signs indicated that he was improving, especially after the respiratory crisis on Sunday, that is the February of 28 afternoon, that resulted in his inhaling vomit during a coughing fit and raising the possibility of a new infection. The night was quiet. The Pope is still resting, the Vatican said in its Sunday, March 2 update. Pope Francis was up, read the Sunday paper and had coffee and breakfast while continuing with his therapy. Cardinal also, that is Pietro Parolin for now, and his chief of staff, Archbishop Edgar Penapara, also called on the Pope on Sunday morning, their second visit since Pope Francis' February 14 hospitalization, according to the Vatican spokesperson Bruni. There were no details of what was discussed, but there were mere visits suggested Pope Francis' condition was stabilizing. The Pope, who had part of one lung removed as a young man, has lung disease and was admitted to Gemelli on February 14 after a bout of bronchitis worsened and turned into a complex pneumonia in both lungs. Pope Francis' hospitalization has come as the Vatican is marking its Holy Year, drawing pilgrims to Rome from all over the world. Many of them added a pilgrimage destination to their itineraries so they can pray for Pope Francis at the Gemelli Hospital, which is around a 20-minute drive from the Vatican City, longer in a rush hour or on public transport. The fact that Pope Francis was able to use just high-flow oxygen for a long period without any significant effect on the level of oxygen in his blood was a sign that his respiratory function was improving. We'll see the updates and see how the health of the Pope goes in the next